Hello students, welcome to your channel. Please like, share and subscribe your own channel, School Studies. School Studies is pleased to announce the launch of our educational website, Patel Section. After years of hard work and dedication, we are delighted to officially announce the launch. Today we will see a video related to NCERT solution for class 10 Economics, Social Science, Chapter 2, Sectors of the Indian Economy. So let's solve textbook exercise. The first question is fill in the blanks using the correct option given in the bracket. Employment in the service sector has not increased to the same extent as production. Workers in the tertiary sector do not produce goods. Most of the workers in the organized sector enjoy job security. A large proportion of laborers in India are working in the unorganized sector. Cotton is a natural product and cloth is a manufactured product. The activities in primary, secondary and tertiary sectors are interdependent. Next, choose the most appropriate answer. First, the sector has classified into public and private sectors on the basis of, it is on the basis of ownership of enterprise. Production of the commodity mostly through the natural process in an activity in dash sector, so it is primary sector. Next, GDP is the total value of dash produced during a particular year, so it is all final goods and services. In terms of GDP, the share of tertiary sector in 2013-14 is between 50 to 60%. Next is match the following. So these are the problems faced by farming sector and these are some possible measures. So unirrigated land is construction of canals by the government. Low price for crops, procurement of food grains by government. Debt burden, banks to provide credit with low interest. No job in the off-season, setting up agro-based mills. Compelled to sell their grains to the local traders soon after harvest, cooperative marketing societies. Next, find the odd one out and say why. Tourist guide, dhobi, tailor, porter. Tourist guide is the odd one out because he or she is appointed by the government department, but tailor, dhobi and porter own their private work. Teacher, doctor, vegetable vendor and lawyer. The vegetable vendor is the odd one out because he works in the primary sector while jobs of teacher, lawyer and doctor come under the tertiary sector. Postman, cobbler, soldier, police constable. So cobbler is the odd one out because he works in the private sector while the postman, soldier and police constable work for the public sector or the organized sector. And MTNL, Indian Railway, Air India, Jet Airways, All India Radio. So Jet Airways is the odd one out because it is owned by a private company and remaining are owned by the government of India. Next, a research scholar look at the working people in the city of Surat and find the following. So these are the place of work, the nature of employment and the percentage of working people. So in offices and factories registered with the government, so it is organized sector, 15% people work there. Own shop, office, clinics in marketplaces with formal license. So it is organized, working with 15 people. People working on the street, construction workers, domestic workers. That is unorganized, 20% people work there. Working in small workshops, usually not registered with government. It is also unorganized and 50% of people work there. So the percentage of workers in the unorganized sector are 70%. That is 20 plus 50. That is 70% people are working in unorganized sectors. Next, do you think the classification of economic activities into primary, secondary and tertiary is useful? Explain how. The classification of economic activities into primary, secondary, and tertiary is useful as it helps to classify the different occupations that are taken up by the people in the country and how much each sector contributes to the growth of the country. It is also important because it helps in asserting that which sector contributes the most in the GDP and which sector has the scope to employ more people and increase the national income. Next, for each of the sectors that we came across in this chapter, why should one focus on employment and GDP? Could there be other issues which should be examined? Discuss. Employment and GDP are the two of the most important factors in the development of a country. Employment and GDP are used to calculate the overall productivity and national income of a country. If the country has a high employment rate, its GDP, national income, and per capita income will automatically increase. Hence, these are the two things which have been given major emphasis in this chapter. Other issues which should be examined are as follow: healthcare facilities, education, poverty, food production, nourishment. Next, make a long list of all kinds of work that you find adults around you doing for a living. In what ways can you classify them? Explain your choice. The activities performed by human beings for a living are classified into three sectors: primary, secondary, and tertiary. When we see people around us, we can classify the employment sector in either of the three classifications. Activities like cleaning, agriculture, selling vegetables are examples of primary sector. Manufacturing of goods is an example of secondary sector. Teaching, mining, banking, transportation are all examples of tertiary sector. How is the tertiary sector different from other sectors? Illustrate with a few examples. There are activities that help in the development of primary and the secondary sector are called tertiary activities. These activities are different from the primary and secondary sector activities. These activities by themselves do not produce a good, but they are an aid or support for the production process. For example, foods that we produced in the primary or secondary sector will need to be transported by trucks or trains and then sold in the wholesale and retail shops. These transportation facilities and shopkeepers come under the tertiary sector. They do not produce goods but play a very important role in selling and bringing those goods to the market. What do you understand by disguised unemployment? Explain with an example, each from the urban and rural areas. The situation of underemployment, where people are apparently working but all of them are made to work less than their potential, is called disguised unemployment. In this case, the person considers himself employed but is actually not working. In rural areas where agriculture is the main source of income, this kind of unemployment can be seen often. If a piece of land requires only 3 people to work on it and instead 5 people are working on it, then the 2 extra people are said to be in a situation of disguised unemployment. In urban areas, disguised unemployment is seen when painters, plumbers, electricians are unable to find work on a daily basis and work pay way less than their potential. Next, distinguish between the open unemployment and disguised unemployment. Open unemployment is when a person is willing to work, is educated but is unable to get a job and work. This kind of unemployment is visible. On the other hand, disguised unemployment is when a person is apparently working but is made to work less than his or her potential. This kind of unemployment is quite evident in village where people working in farms consider themselves employed but are actually working less than their potential. Tertiary sector is not playing a significant role in the development of Indian economy. Do you agree? Give reason in support of your answer. No, this is not correct. The tertiary sector is playing a significant role in the development of an Indian economy. In year 2003, the tertiary sector replaced the primary sector as the most producing sector in the country. A few reasons to support this are given below. The primary and secondary sectors can only flourish if the tertiary sector is there to support them. The tertiary sector adds up a lot to the national income of the country. Education, which is the basis of everything, comes under the tertiary sector. A person working as a teacher comes under the tertiary sector. This sector provides the maximum employment opportunities to the people in the country. Next, service sector in India employs two different kinds of people. Who are this? Service sector in India employs two different types of people. These people are highly skilled labor, which includes teachers, bankers, IT officials, etc. These people are permanently employed. Less skilled labor, which includes vendors, electricians, plumber, etc. These people are not permanently employed. Workers are exploited in the unorganized sector. Do you agree with this view? Give reason in support of your answer. The unorganized sector is characterized by small and scattered units, which are largely outside the control of the government. These are rules, regulations, but these are not followed. Jobs here are low paid and not regular. Hence, it is not correct to say that workers are exploited in unorganized sector because more work is taken from them in comparison to what they are paid. They have no provisions or extra pay for overtime and no medical benefits. The biggest problem in working in this sector is that there is no job security. Next, how are the activities in the economy classified on the basis of employment condition? On the basis of employment condition, the economy can be classified into two sectors: organized sector, enterprises registered under the government of India, who has an employee-friendly environment and are provided with various facilities including high wages. Unorganized sector, small and scattered units which are temporary. The employees in this sector are paid less. Next, compare the employment conditions prevailing in the organized and unorganized sector. In the organized sector, the employees are given higher wages, medical facilities, a healthy working environment, and their jobs are permanent. They are not liable to look for new source of income each day. In the unorganized sector, the wages are low, the employees are exploited, no extra income for extra time is given, no medical facilities are provided, and the work environment is unhealthy. Next, explain the objectives of implementing the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005. So the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005 was introduced with an aim to ensure guaranteed 100 days of employment in a year to all those who are in need of work. It also states that in the case of employment not being provided under this act, employment wages will be given to those left unemployed. Additional employment opportunities need to be created for people in villages and smaller towns. Next, using examples from your area, compare and contrast that activities and functions of private and public sectors. In the private sector, the assets and industries are owned by individuals, and in the public sector, industries and enterprises are owned by the government. Private sector works to earn profits and the public sector works to provide facilities to the public and to earn profits. The common example of the public sector that we can see around us are government banks, post office, municipal hospitals, and Indian railways. The common example of private sector that we can see around us are IT companies, malls and multiplexes, etc. Give a few examples of public sector activities and explain why the government has taken them up. The public sector activities are set for the betterment of the public itself. The reason the government has taken up the public sector is so that proper facilities can be provided to the people of the country. Banks, transport, irrigation, electricity, water, and all the basic things that are necessary for people come under the public sector. Providing this facility to its citizen is the responsibility of the government. Explain how the public sector contributes to the economic development of nation. The public sector is the sector that comes under the government of India. The reason for government to take responsibilities of this sector is because the basic necessities of people including water, electricity, irrigation all fall under this category. If these departments are left unattended, it will result in the downfall of the economy of a country, because the growth of the country will stop. The economic development of country depends upon the development of people, and if people are deprived of basic necessities, the country's economic development will be affected. Government encourages small and large industries to flourish and provides employment under this section. Next, the workers in the unorganized sector need protection on the following issues: wages, safety, health. Explain with example. The unorganized sector is characterized by small and scattered units which are largely outside the control of the government. There are rules and regulations, but these are not followed. The workers in the unorganized sector need protection. Wages. The income of workers in the unorganized sector is not fixed, and they are barely able to meet the needs to lead a decent livelihood. Hence, proper and fixed wages should be given to these workers so that they can grow and contribute to the growth of a country. For example, a painter only gets paid the wages for the days he works, and on the other days he is jobless and is able to earn nothing. Safety. No safety is provided to the workers working in unorganized sector. There is no job security, and anyone who can fired and removed from their work as per the requirement of the laborers. For example, a laborer working in the construction of a building is left with no work once the construction is complete and has no guarantee of getting work again. Health is one very important factor for the growth and development of country. The unorganized sector is given no medical security, and if any accident occurs while they are working, the employer is not responsible for their health. For example, there is no sick leave for laborers working on daily wages. Next, a study in Ahmedabad found that out of 15 lakh workers in the city, 11 lakhs are worked in the unorganized sector. The total income of the city in this year was rupees 60,000 million. Out of this, rupees 32,000 million was generated in the organized sector. Present is this data as table. As a table, what kind of ways should be thought of for generating more employment in the city? So the table clearly shows that income generated in an unorganized sector is close to 50% of total income of Ahmedabad. In order to increase employment opportunities for the people, more industries should be set up. Proper education must be provided to all, and proper facilities under the public sector must be provided to all. The following table gives the GDP in rupees by the three sectors. These are the year: primary, secondary and tertiary. Calculate the share of three sectors in GDP for 2000 and 2013. So in 2000, primary sector 22.22%, secondary 20.73%, tertiary 57.04%, and in 2013, the primary sector 13.94%, secondary sector 18.70%, tertiary sector 67.36%. These are the data showed in the bar diagram. Next, what conclusion can be drawn from the bar graph? We can draw the conclusion that the share of the tertiary sector in the GDP was increased by 10%, while that of the primary sector has almost halved. The secondary sector has gone up by 2% in the last 13 years. So this was chapter 2 of economics of NCERT solution for class 10th. I hope you liked my video. Thanks for watching my video. Thank you. Please leave comment, question or doubts in comment section if you have any, or you can drop a mail to us. You will find my email ID at the end of this video. You can also join us on Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, connect us on LinkedIn or tweet us on Twitter. Thanks for watching my video. Thank you.